thank you for coming today. I'm amazed at how many people turned up in this weather, and it shows that we're made of stern stuff. So the people that we're going to be talking to today and in the future had better beware. My name's Bill Adams. I'm the TUC Regional Secretary for Yorkshire and the Humber. And just before we start the proceedings, there are a few people in the crowd going round with a petition to stop the deportation of the Okpara family from Sheffield. They've lived here over 5 years now, and they're under a serious threat of deportation. I'd just like you all to sign when you see these people waving the petitions around. They're just here at the moment. So I just wanted to mention that before we started the rally today. Comrades, we're here today, gathered as trade unionists, because we're all in this together. All our trade unions are here today. I'm sure there's many people, general members of the public here today, in our opposition to the swinging, nasty, unfair cuts that were announced by the Condemns on Wednesday. And we're here in Sheffield because you have a sizeable Liberal contingent in here, and we've also got a Mr. Clegg, who's flipped over completely from what he said before the election. He's now agreeing with his big mate Dave Cameron and the 23 multi-millionaires they sit round the cabinet table with them. They have no idea what it means to take your car into a garage and wonder if you can afford the MOT. They think £10,000 for a student fee is peanuts, because they pay £30,000 a term at Westminster or Repton. They're in a completely different world. And this government has got no mandate at all to do what they're doing. 2/3 of the British public voted against these types of cuts. And the Liberals have flipped over, sided with the Tories, and all they keep saying is, because of what the last government did. It was the greedy bankers that got us into this mess. And they should pick up the majority of the bill. Not the students, not the old people, not the postal workers, not the council workers, not our nurses, or vulnerable people who need public services. We've got to fight back and turn back these cuts. Today, we've got an array of speakers. We've got Frances OGrady has come up from London, the Deputy General Secretary of the TUC. She's going to be talking to you first. And we've got an array of people who not only work in public services, but are under threat of losing their own jobs. They're not just under threat of losing their own jobs, but that means that people out there, vulnerable people who need services, won't get them. I'm not going to rabbit on now because we've got a whole host of speakers, but it's my duty and my pleasure to welcome Frances OGrady.
Thanks very much, Bill. Great to see. And I need windscreen wipers as well. I'm very proud to bring greetings of solidarity on behalf of all of Britain's trade unions and more than 6 million workers. Greetings. It's great to see the beginnings of a massive new coalition. This is the real coalition. This is the coalition against the cuts. And it's good to see so many workers, so many unemployed people, so many pensioners and students, service users as well as service providers united here today. And I want to tell you, we are not alone. Today, all over Britain, there are rallies being held all over the UK, Bristol, Cambridge, Birmingham, Belfast, Edinburgh, Lincoln and London. We're all united. because when I go back to London today, I'm going to ask you to bring from you solidarity greetings to our brave firefighters.
Yes.
Because those firefighters who have been treated as heroes after the July bombings are now being bullied. They are being bullied, they're being told they have to accept worse terms and conditions, or they will be threatened, all 5,600 of them, with a sack. It's a shame. So send them our solidarity today, please. You see, we are not going to be divided. I know that the government wants to divide us. It wants to divide private sector workers against public sector workers. It wants to divide those in work against those who are unemployed, the young and the old, men and women, black and white. But we are united. We've got a strong message today, all together for public services. Tonight, together, we stand united. Now, I'm very pleased that all of Sheffield's opposition MPs are supporting us today, but as Bill said, there's one missing, Cutter Clegg. Now, you may have heard that he's going to be on Desert Island Disc with Kirsty Young tomorrow. I wonder what his luxury item will be. Will it be a university place or a decent pension? And what records is he going to choose? Is it going to be Rod Stewart's First Cut is the Deepest? And when it comes to rescuing him, are we going to save him? No. Now, last Wednesday, we had that comprehensive spending review, and it is the most brutal assault on working people and our services since the cuts in spending during the Second World War. We know, and the Treasury admits, that 500,000 public sector workers will be thrown on the dole. And the Treasury also admits, though it doesn't shout about this, that more than that, more than 500,000 private sector workers will be thrown on the dole as a result of these cuts. So what did they tell us? They told us that they would cut pensions, they would slash legal aid, they would clobber our universities, they would cut the schools rebuilding programme, they would put up train fares and cut childcare, they would cut house building, and they would batter our benefits. Well, I tell you, we've got long memories, and we're never going to forget the looks on their faces, the smiles, the sniggers, the cheers as they voted through our cuts on our services. We won't forget. Because the truth is, there are now 5 unemployed people chasing every vacancy in this country. So when IDS has the cheek to tell us to get on the bus and find work, let's tell IDS where to go. And what about the bankers? What about the bankers who put us in this mess in the first place? So they've had a £2 million levy put on the banks. Well, I tell you, that is nothing compared to the £19 billion they are avoiding in paying taxes. We won't have it. Are we all in this together? I don't think so. And here in Sheffield, of course, we had the shame of that Forge Masters loan being cut. A loan, not a payment, a loan that would have saved jobs and protected manufacturing. We've got the City Council doing the dirty work for the government, talking about £219 million of cuts on the most vulnerable, the people who need services. services moat and jobs under threat. But the truth is out. The TUC has shown that the poor will be hit 15 times harder than the rich, and we are not going to stand by and let that happen. Are we going to let them get away with it? And there is an alternative. Let's have a crackdown on that £25 billion of tax avoidance by the rich. Let's have a new Robin Hood tax on financial transactions that would raise £20 billion. And let's have investment in decent jobs and a living wage. I want to announce today that the TUC is calling a mass national demonstration on the Saturday the 26th of March in London.